Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to B Sports Picks. We had about 4 days where they played on Sunday, and now they're back Friday. So there was about 4 day gap there with no games. And instead of trying to force something in the WNBA or whatever, I said I was going to take some time off. And what I did instead of taking time off, I actually worked on my new software that I have. I'm going to show you guys a bunch of that information here. So I appreciate you being here. I'm going to hook you guys up with a lot of stuff, like my step-by-step stuff that I do. And that's going to be specifically for the people that are on the live. So stick around for that. Let me show you just what I've been working on real quick. And just so you know, I'm going to be going half units today because, a lot of these guys took the break. They weren't part of the All-Star. They went back home and stuff like that. So what I like to do is take like 1 or 2 days just for them to come back and kind of get in the groove of things again. That's what I'm going to be doing myself. I'm going to be doing half a units if I find anything. So I do have some batters I'm looking at, and I do have one game that I'm looking at as well. So this is what I've been working on. You can see right here, it's called a sharp edge. It's basically the same thing that I've been showing all along. It's all this information here. You can see all this stuff is functional. The only thing that there's some stuff that's broken and stuff like that, but this is called a sharp edge. And basically this is going to trim down it's going to trim down your research. If you want to check this out, it's on the link in the description. Like I said, it's not complete yet. There's still some broken stuff, but some people already paid just to kind of take a look at the preview. And anyways, if you want this for free, send me a text message. For 30 days, I'm going to hook you up for free so that you can check it out. And you can give me pointers on what I'm messing up on or what I need to change. So if you want to check this out, the sharp edge for free, send me a text message right there. All right, let me get into it, guys. So again, I don't have anything chosen yet. I have not looked. Instead of coming up with all this stuff and then coming on the live, like I didn't want to deal with that. So I just decided to come on the live and show you guys my step-by-step process pretty much for the batter props and things like that. So for example, this first thing I'm looking at is the one hits. So the first thing I look at is the last 10 games. You can see this guy has a bunch of hits right here. This guy has a bunch of hits, at least 80%, and they have not missed in the last game. So that's my first little check mark. And you can see there's about 5 batters right there, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batters. Okay, now that I have the batters that I'm looking at, I go into Outlier. The link is in the description for Outlier as well. This is what I use for all my batter props. And then I just take a closer look at the graph here. So you can see he did miss 2 games. That's 80%. He did get 2 hits. Pretty much he's got 5 hits overall in the last 5 games. And then he does come up to bat a lot. And then you can see he's actually faced this pitcher 4 different times and he's gotten 3 hits. That's a 75% hit rate against that pitcher directly. And he's got an 80% hit rate overall. So this dude is looking very good today. Now, also on this graph right here, you can see where this guy pitches and this guy everything is looking good. So what I do is I actually got a custom bot inside of ChatGPT and I post these images. And then instead of me going through and trying to figure it out, it's already set up. I have this custom bot, like I said, it already knows what to read. And it's basically telling it how to look and do this, look at this graph. So once it already understands like what I'm looking for is what I'm trying to say. So basically, when I give it the graph, like the graph images, you can see they're all right here for all these batters. And then it tells me I should look into this or I should stay away. And it's literally just saying yes or no. So basically, right here is telling me no, to stay away for Bobby Witt Jr. This one's saying yes for Pasquiano. This guy's saying yes for Simpson, yes for Diaz, yes for Donovan, and yes for Tatis. So the only one that it's telling me no is Bobby Witt Jr. So now I'm going to go into Bobby Witt Jr. and I'm going to take a closer look at this. And I'm going to see if, first of all, he has no history with this pitcher. So the other thing is that he does have 19 straight games on the road with a hit. So that's a little more overpowering than just a heat graph. And plus he has no history with him. So if you look at this graph, the reason it's probably telling you, I can go and read it. I'm not going to get into the details, but basically I just tend to skip it. However, it's 19 straight hits. So that's something to look at. So it's right here, low and away, 20%. Witt's zone is right where this guy doesn't throw. So it's basically telling you wherever this guy throws, this guy doesn't hit. I don't care about that because this guy has gotten 19 straight hits and he's hit for us a lot this season. So I am going to go with Bobby Witt Jr. to get 1 hit. I'm going to go with Vinny Pasquiano to get 1 hit. I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to skip Bobby Witt Jr. Let me go back and I'm going to say I'm going to skip Bobby Witt Jr. because, like I said, it's just came back off of All-Star break. I want to make sure everything's tight, and I'm only going to do half units today. So Fernando Tatis Jr. is the first one I'm going with. Vinny Pasquiano is the second guy I'm going with. Chandler Simpson is the third one. Give me a second. Why is this thing not? Give me a second here. Okay. Chandler Simpson is the third one. Yandy Diaz, this dude has been hitting for us pretty much all season. I mean, we've probably played him maybe 25 times at this point, and he's gotten a hit, I would say, like 23 out of those 25 times. Maybe not that many, but it's a lot. And then Brandon Donovan with the Cardinals. So I'm going to go and give you guys the batters that I'm going to go with again. Let me just take another quick glance while I have you here. He's got a 90% hit rate. He comes up to bat between 4 and 5 times. He's faced this batter or this pitcher 9 times. He's gotten 4 hits. That's very strong. Yandy Diaz overall looks good. 9 at-bats, 3 hits. That's 33% plus the 80% overall. Chandler Simpson doesn't have any history with this against this pitcher, but he should be getting a hit on the heat map. Then we got Vinny Pasquiano. This dude looks. There's no splits, they call it. Splits is when they face the pitcher. And then we got Fernando Tatis. This dude's a monster. Check this out. 4 at bats, 3 hits. So if I was going to go with 2, if these are too expensive, I'm probably going to go with Fernando Tatis Jr. and Brandon Donovan for sure. I'll probably parlay those together actually. They're going to probably be very expensive because they do have history with the pitchers, and they have like a 60-70% hit rate. Let me take a look at this one. Yeah, this guy has a 75% hit rate, and then this guy has a 57% hit rate against this pitcher. So I hope you guys like that. That's going to be 5 batters that I just gave you. I'm going to take another look at these unders. Where the hell is this? Give me a second. All right, let me keep going here. So this is going to be for the under RBIs. This under RBIs, I don't think anybody really talks about this stuff, but for us, it's been very, 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 very consistent. I would say like a 80 or 90% hit rate. These plays right here tend to be very expensive because they hit so much. And I'm not just bragging here. I'm just telling you straight up that these are very, very good under 1 RBI hits. I'm sorry, under 1 RBIs just in general. So the way I do this is, let me see. I haven't done this in 4 days. So let me kind of get backtrack here. So first thing I want to do is see what team they play for. Okay, so let me look at Trenton Brooks. So Padres, Twins, Yankees. Let me take a look here. Give me 1 second. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the line move for those teams on the over-under. So the over-under, I'm going to take a look. Basically, I'm looking at the batter, and now I'm looking at I'm looking at the team. So I'm looking at the team overall and see if the books are saying the line move is going on the over or the under. So I want the teams in general to be generally going on the under. Okay, so this is my next step. Padres to go on the under. So let me take a look. I'm looking at the totals, over unders. Yeah, it looks like a regular 8.5 thing. So the line is stuck at an 8.5, and it hasn't moved up or down. So 8.5 is somewhat decent. It's not great, but I don't like to see 9.5. So right now, Padres is a good one for me. There hasn't been much to look at the last couple of days because there was no games. So let me go to the Twins now. Let me go to the Twins. Give me a second. All I'm doing is here real quick is I'm switching back and forth between my screen. And right here, I can see that the Twins, let me take a screenshot so you can see this. The Twins are very high. So let me take a look here, just so you can see what I'm kind of looking at, and you can start doing your own research if you wanted to. But look at this. So the Twins, the line started at a 10.5, and now it's at 11. So the line is very high already at a 10.5, and it's still going up. Compare that to the other one that I just talked about was at 8.5. I'm not going to try to show you that because I would have to take another screenshot, but that's what I'm looking at. So right there, that tells me I should be skipping anybody playing in the Twins game or the Rockies game. And that's okay. Now I see why. They're playing in Colorado, so that's already automatically more hits. Let me go to the Yankees now. Take a look at the Yankees. 8.5. Kind of stuck there. What's the next one? Royals, Athletics, Orioles. Royals, Athletics, Orioles. Royals, Athletics. Okay, the Royals and the Marlins is actually going down, so that's a good sign. Athletics, it's actually going down to 8.5 to 7.5. And then the Orioles. Okay, the Orioles. The Orioles is at a 9, and they did go down to 8.5, but I don't see that 9. So I'm gonna delete the Orioles right there. So that, okay, just so you understand what I did there. When I looked, I see these batters. So I came up with these batters, and I look at the make sure they're batting in the 8th, 9th, or I'm sorry, 7th, 8th, and 9th position, which is these guys are. And then I look at the team on the over-unders, and then I look at these players, make sure, well, first I look at the players to make sure that they're looking like an under RBI. I have a lot of criteria for that. I'm not going to get into all those details, but basically once I have this information, the next thing I want to look at is making sure the teams themselves are not supposed to get a lot of hits. So what I do here is I go you can go to any sports book you want, and I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to Hard Rock because it's just a little bit easier to manage. What the hell's going on here? Give me a second. All right. So now that I have Hard Rock here, I'm going to go one team at a time. It's going to be the Padres first. Okay, so I'm going to look at the Padres, and what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the team props, okay? And I'm going to look at the totals, and you can see right here, books think that the Padres are going to get over 8.5 hits. So that's not a good sign for me. It's not heavy. It's not super heavy, but that's enough for me to stay away from this batter because they're telling me they're going to get a lot of hits. 8.5 is actually standard. If you see over 8.5, I skip it automatically. If it's going under 8.5, Yankees is the next one I'm looking at. Let me go back in here. Normally I don't do all these details, but today, like I said, I'm kind of doing it as I'm showing you. So I hope that makes sense. So look at this is what I meant. Look at the under 7.5, and it's heavy, or not heavy, but it's favored to go under 7.5. Compare that to the other one with the Padres, where it was projected that there were 8.5. So this is already better. I hope that's making sense, guys. Let me know if it doesn't make sense. So Yankees is looking good. These are now I'm looking at the under RBIs. Right now I'm going through. I just looked at the Yankees. This guy's checking out so far. I'm going to go look at the Royals and then the Athletics. So the Royals is next. And right now I'm just looking to see if the team totals are kind of low. Right here you can see it does say 8.5. Like I said, 8.5 is the standard. That's the average. And it's telling me that it's going to go under 8.5. So they're looking very good, actually. Let me show you that. The under for the Royals is under 8.5, and it's heavily juiced at the under 8.5. Now let me go. The next one is, all right, let me see. Team props, Athletics. So this one does tell you that they're going to go over 7.5, but 7.5 is actually lower than the average. I still don't like it. I don't like to see that they're going to go over at all, even if it's a little bit of a lower number. So now we got these two batters that I'm looking at. Now all I have to do now is open these in Outlier to check these out individually. So let me do that now, and I'll tell you if I'm going to go with them or not. Under RBI, and now I'm going to go to under RBI. I'm doing this on the fly, guys, so give me a second. So now I'm going to go to this guy. All right, so here we go. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Normally I have a bunch of scrapers and automations that run in the background, so I don't even have to like kind of open these tabs anymore, but I'm just kind of doing it to show you. So now we're going to go on the under. So you can see right away. Let me look at the next. Let me open up the next one, and then I'll show you both of them. All right, so under. Okay, so now, like I said, first thing I did was look at the 7th, 8th, and 9th batters pretty much for every game. But then there's a bunch of other criteria that I'm not going to get into because it's a whole little system. But once I have the breakdown and I have my final output right here, I started with about 6 or 7 batters. Once I had those 6 and 7 batters, I go and look at the over-unders for the game. And I saw that some of them were going to be way over 10.5 runs. So then I deleted those. Then I went into the actual team totals for the hits, not the runs, but the hits. And then I deleted a bunch of those. And now I'm looking specifically at these two players now. And you can see they're both batting in the 9th position. So look at this. In the last 20 games, this guy has 2 RBIs. Okay, we're looking at the under. In the last 10 games, he has 0 RBIs. A very strong indication here is the opposing pitcher. I know it's hard to see that, but let me see if I can zoom in. No, I can't zoom in. But let me actually crop this. Give me a second. Let me show you this because it's important. This is the opposing pitcher. Okay, so on the right panel, you'll see. It's hard to see it when I'm looking at it on the other screen, but look at this. He's going against this guy Strider, and Strider has a very good ERA at a 3.94. He has 10 strikeouts already. Walks per inning is very low. So this, even though he only has 3 wins, overall his ERA is great. So you can't judge him based on his win-loss record. You have to base him on his ERA. And he already pitched 61 innings. So that's very, very good. So it's a great pitcher is what I'm looking at against this Peraza for the Yankees. Now, another thing you look at is the plate appearances. So the plate appearances, he's only come up to bat twice in the last game, 3 times the game before that, 4 times. You can see 1 time here, 2 times. So if this guy's supposed to get an RBI, you got to think it like this. That's why these plays are so heavily juiced, because they're very highly likely to hit. Like I said, whenever I come up with these plays, they've been hitting at I think 80 or 90% or higher. And the reason is, look at this, 100% hit rate in the last 10. He only comes up to bat between 2 and 3 times, sometimes 4 times. He has not gotten this hits 12 straight games. So you got to think about it this way. Not only is the situation have to be perfect, meaning the 7th and 8th batter have to be on base while this guy comes up to bat, and this guy has to run him in. So it's a lot of things. Now you're looking at the strong pitching and all this stuff. I'm not going to get into all the details, but this is a very strong play. I'm going to go with this guy, Oswald Peraza, on the under RBI. If you've seen any of my videos, you see that these under RBIs are constantly hitting. Okay, now let me look to the next one. Kyle Isbell. I don't like this right here where it says 7.22 ERA. That's a good ERA. That's a very bad ERA, meaning the opposing pitcher is bad. That's not a good sign. Plus, he got 1 RBI in the last 10 games already. He's coming up a very solid 3 times at bat. He's failed to exceed this 16 straight games, or not straight, but 16 out of the last 18 games, he has not gotten an RBI. I don't trust it. Let me look at the last 20, actually. So you can see he's a little more consistent than the other guy. I'm not going to go with it because of this. Let me see. I'm not going to force it. So I'm going to force it. But this one actually looks very good. You can take it if you want. I'm not going to take it because of this very bad ERA over here. So I'm gonna skip out on this one. All right. So now let me give you the ones I am going with. It's going to be Oswald Peraza on the under RBI, Brandon Donovan on the over 1 hit, Yandy Diaz on the over 1 hit, Chandler Simpson on the over 1 hit, Vinny Pasquiano on the over 1 hit, and Fernando Tatis Jr. on the over 1 hit. So I just gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 props. Normally those are all reserved for VIP, but because we're coming out of the break, I want to hook you guys up. And like I said, I'm only going half units. So be careful with these today. The reason, again, is when they took a big break. Now they're off the All-Star break. What's to happen in baseball and every sport, just so you know, whenever they go into All-Star break, some of the batters are pissed. Some of the players are pissed that they didn't get into the playoffs, the All-Star break. Then they start going into playoff mode. So a lot of things shift after the All-Star break, and that happens in every sport. So there's a lot of stuff that you need to be aware of whenever the All-Star break hits. You have to be a little more conscious of things, certain players. Then they start thinking about next season, playoffs. Like, for example, the White Sox are not going to make the playoffs. Rockies are not going to make the playoffs. So they're not going to be putting in their strong starters anymore. Things like that. Or every sport does this. So you got to be careful with that. Everything that I'm telling you to do, or everything that I'm taking today, I'm going to do with half a unit. And I've already explained that because of this that they're coming off of All-Star break. So I'm taking Fernando Tatis Jr. to get a hit, Vinny Pasquiano to get a hit, Chandler Simpson to get a hit, Yandy Diaz to get a hit, Brandon Donovan to get a hit, Oswaldo Peraza to go on the under RBI. And that's about it, guys. I'm going to show you one last thing, and then I'm going to be out of here. So I appreciate you guys being here. I will show you how I'm going to play this. So then I'll answer your question, Julio. So I'm going to go to MLB. Then I'm going to look for the Mariners. We'll go to the Mariners. And then I got to look for the cheapest, where I can get it at the cheapest price. So let me see. Would it be 119? Anything close to 120? No. 122 is the cheapest. So I'm probably going to be able to get it right around 130. 130 right here. So I'm gonna get these Mariners money line on the 130. All right, so let me write that down. This is Profit X. Cool. So what does half a unit mean? I have a video called Bankroll Management. It's on my channel. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It's called Bankroll Management. It's very important. If you don't know what Bankroll Management is, you need to take the time to learn it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So go on my channel and then go through my videos. You can see I put a lot of videos here, and it's right here. It's with this guy, Yeah, so go on my channel and look for this video right here. It's called Bankroll Management, and then that explains it all. So basically, it's just based on how much money you have in your accounts, and then you do a certain number, and that should be your unit size. So what I'm saying is that my normal unit size currently is $75. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half of that, which I'm going to do like $40, because I've already explained all that. Go to the link in the description, and then go into it's real simple. Go to my channel, Beast Sports Picks, inside of YouTube. Search for it, and then click on videos, and then scroll down, and then look for this video right here. It's called Bankroll Management. All right, guys. I give you guys a lot of information. I know it's a lot of stuff. I'm glad to be back. I'm definitely working on perfecting sharp edge. That's something that has taken a lot of my time recently, but once it's done, it's gonna be great, because I could just kind of go and analyze each game pretty quickly. And then I can start looking more at the information instead of kind of like wasting time. So, excuse me. All right, guys, if you want access to this, one last time, I'm going to say it. Make sure you subscribe if you like all that information. If you want access to this for 30 days for free, send me a text message and say, hey, I want the Sharp Edge for free for 30 days. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really appreciate you that are here. Let's have a great day. Thank you.